Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present to you Scrub Zero. I don't even know where to go with these guys. Now, for anyone who's been under a rock or in a cave or whatever, there's been some interesting developments in this past week. Former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores, for those who don't know, was set to interview last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week for that at that point vacant spot for the Giants head coaching spot. They ultimately went with Brian Dable, but um, Tuesday Brian Flores filed a class action lawsuit against three teams: his former team, the Dolphins, which he was the head coach for, the New York Giants, and the Denver Broncos. Two teams he interviewed for felt like they were sham interviews. And of course, the NFL is on top of that. He sued the league and three teams individually. Now, you got different news coming out. More people, giving their experiences, like Hugh Jackson and Marvin Lewis. A lot of people showing support. It doesn't look good for the Giants. The Giants don't really have, and the Giants definitely don't have any. They have. You can't give. I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt, because when you look at their history, they're a team that has historically, as far as quarterback, head coach, even GM, they have not been favorable, to say the least. Let's be honest. They have done. They haven't looked for black guys for those positions. They've done the bare minimum with they've done the bare minimum since the Rooney Rule has been established. Certainly, the last three with the last four times they've looked for new head coaches. Geno Smith is the only black quarterback who started a game for them, and that was only because the 2017 season they were going downhill. McAdoo wanted to see what they had in the other guys. Situation didn't end well. McAdoo was fired along with Jerry Reese before the end of the year. Right after, I think that was at week 14 or week 13, something like that. It was late in the year. And as such, they have continued being a team of futility. Excuse me. Got the water down the wrong pipe. I'm all right. The Giants, since winning Super Bowl 46, have been a very bad team. The 2000, in my opinion, 2013 season was the worst thing that could have happened to them, because they thought they had enough still. They just fixed the offense. It proved they hadn't. They haven't been able to get a whole team together for a whole season, like where you say offense is solid, defense is solid, special teams. They haven't been able to do that. And their process in the hiring staff and the hiring process for before this year, at least according to them, they felt, for lack of a better term, incomplete. Like they felt rushed, or they had to wait, because in Pat Shermer's case, he was with the Vikings and that got to the NFC Championship game that year, so he couldn't really fill out his staff. So yeah, all that. So they said they're gonna do it right. They're gonna take their time. They got their head coach. They got their GM first, then they went after the head coach. I should have done a video a lot sooner on after they got the GM because I don't, for whatever reason, I got the sense it was that it's going to be the same old Giants. I had a bad feeling, something like it, just something didn't sit right with me, and that wasn't because I thought Brandon Beane was a bad candidate. I think he, as far as the resume, seems to all fit. So I have no problem with him getting the job. I have no problem with Brian Dable getting the job. Quite honestly, I would have preferred Brian Flores. They wanted Brian Dable. In and of itself, I have no problem with that. But I had this sense that is just that something was going to go left, or not even left. I think there was just something bad that was bound to happen. Like it was off. Something was off, and after they introduced Brandon Beane, I think on the side, I forget the exact timing during that day, but someone and the reporters had asked about would the Giants get Deshaun Watson, and John Mara said they're not doing that. I think mentioned something about character. Like if he had just left it at the cap stuff, it would not have, at the very least, it would not have looked as bad. It would not have given me as much pause as when he brought up character, considering you had a guy in Josh Brown who was abusing his wife. You had to separate him at the Pro Bowl. Shout out to Cino for that information because I wasn't following that close. I didn't know all that. Like I knew that it was some this domestic abuse. I didn't know how bad it was. Shout out to HD too because he's been on top of it and just the whole situation with Flores and the whole the lawsuit and how the league, this is what the league's been, and shout out to Polo as well and anyone else who's been on top of this. Like love to venture to comment on when Lobo did his live after I think it was after the divisional round, and said anyone that know could tell you that Giants ain't getting no black QB head coach because like this is their history. It just when John Mara said what he said about Deshaun Watson, I'm like, well, to me that just already crossed off Brian Flores. Something told me like, all right, Brian Flores that ain't happening now. Then Brian Flores. Then you look at the text message Brian Flores got from Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick done dropped the ball on that one. Like, and then but he couldn't not go. But Flores couldn't not go to the interview because then they would have said, well, he didn't really want the job. So it's been a crazy week. More information keeps coming out. Hopefully, this doesn't go away. But you know how these things go. It pops up, it's hot for a bit, and then people, the mainstream media stays off of it. I think that's gonna. I hope it's not the case. I pray it's not, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm actually expecting it. It would be nice to see if that's not the case. Is what I'm saying. But it's been a lot of like the Giants made one statement, and then the following day they made another statement, basically saying that Flores' claims were false and all that. But it was like, why did you even come out with two statements? It doesn't make you look good. You're not doing yourself any favors. And considering if you look at the history of this organization, it doesn't bode well. Then, all right, all right. You got a possibly a sham interview. You're doing bare minimum. You get like so you get no benefit of the doubt, but then you get Tiki Bar. Oh, I know I'm not gonna get Tiki Barber. He made some comments the other day. You could look it up. I think like it's out there. You can find it saying that he knows both the Martin Chish family and they're not racing. They wouldn't do this. Is like uh, I take that with a grain of salt. I think I'll take it out like a whole spoon of salt from Tiki Barber. But so all right, they get their guys. Then in the mix of all that, in the mix of all that going on, they I think Brandon Bean and or Brian Dable said they would like to have Graham back. Selfishly, they one or both of them. I think it was Brian Dable, but they said they would selfishly they want to have Patrick Graham back as the DC. Patrick Graham interviewed for the Vikings job. He didn't get it. Went to the Rams OC. I don't even know dude's name. Like I saw it, but it's not on the top of my head because it's just like no one knows the OC unless you're a Rams fan or you're in LA watching the Rams regularly. Because Sean McVay calls the plays, he's the guy designing the offense and all that. But all right, so the Giants thinking they're gonna have Patrick Graham. Then Friday, Patrick Graham goes to interview for the Vikings job. Now you may be wondering, well, I thought you couldn't interview. He interviewed for the Raiders defensive coordinator job. I know people might be wondering, well, I thought you could. I thought a team could block a lateral move. Like if you're only going from being an LC on your team to or DC on your team to a DC on another team, the team would have to grant permission. If the Giants really want him, wouldn't they block that? See, they would, and they'd be able to, except for the issue that they gave Patrick Graham permission to interview for the Steelers defensive coordinator spot. And because they did it for one team, they opened it for one team, you got to open it for all the teams. And according to reports, Patrick Graham has hopped on to the Raiders staff. So now he's going to be the DC for Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels, who I don't even know how the heck he got a job, quite honestly. After he got caught cheating in Denver and reneged on the Colts job, how the heck does this man even have a job now? Must be great to be white. I wouldn't know all that. You know, I'm just a guy working at UPS. What would I know? But I say all that to say it's not good looking. Now, for some background, Patrick Graham and Brian Flores are they're friends. They're from what's been indicated out there, it seems they're pretty damn close, like brothers. And you best believe that Patrick Graham is paying attention to the situation with Brian Flores. I don't know if that was a factor or not, but as of right now, it can't be ignored. And let's say for the sake of discussion that Brian Flores is right about this, that it was a sham interview. Well, damn. You got your guy your friend of yours who works for the team currently, but the guy who brought him in initially got fired, and now he has an opportunity to go to another team, and he's seeing what this current team is doing. Now he's gone. doesn't look good, does it? It looks ugly. And this is only going to get uglier. And it's about, and I wasn't expecting the new all this news to come out, but it's necessary. And hopefully this brings forth a change that's much needed because we're not getting enough representation as Black people in a lot of areas. At least just stick to football. Like you see, the head coaching situation is ridiculous. We need really in front office positions. We need Black owners. We need Black owners. I don't know how. I don't know what's the number that will start changing it. Christian said 3. HD said it's 5. Like I like more, but we know it's a good old boys network. The issue with it, there's another issue because it's a good old boys network, and the situation is what it is. You got to be let it like you don't just get one of these spots. You got to be let in. You can have enough money, but if they don't, the other owners don't approve, there's nothing you can do, which is crazy. So in essence, they could just keep the door closed, and no one could do anything about it. Now maybe some litigation could change that, but it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's not as hard to believe is it's not hard to believe, but it's like, damn, man. Damn. But it is. But, you know. I I hope it goes well. I'm I don't know about this team, the Giants. From a football standpoint, it looks like it's just like things could go well, but then it might turn south again. Wouldn't be surprising because it's been down. It's been ugly for the past 10 years. It hasn't been good for the past 10 years, but like for the last 5, it's been ugly. So you know that's just from the Giants angle. There's just a lot to get into. Other people's gone on about it. I've talked, left comments and been on panels about it. I just pray things get better. The players need to get involved because now now there's you got other coaches joining that have that supportive Flores on this. If the players support him, then I think it turns the whole situation around. I think the league will be forced to do something. As fans, really, we should just stop buying memorabilia and jerseys and all of their items, and stop going to games. But for some people, it's like they don't care, which is unfortunate. But it's the world we live in. I'm not saying that we should just accept it, but that's the reality of it. And what are you going to do now? Do I expect the players to do anything? No, because their players' union is bad. They're weak. They're weak. Everyone's out for self. No one looks at the big picture. No one can see the forest from the trees in these situations. And I don't think DeMar Smith has been, in my opinion, I don't think he's been good as the president, uh, as the top guy in the players' union. But you know, but that's what I got on it. There's probably more I'm gonna look at. I'm like, damn, I should have said this. I should have said that. But it is what it is. The league, a 70% black league as far as the players, and we have so few head coaches, so few GMs, and no owners, and it's not even. You look at the NBA; at least as of right now, their head coaching situation's gotten better. They got about almost half the league is of black head coaches, and they're getting a few executives in in those positions now. Still only one black owner. That's got to change. But it can't. And it's not only black ownership. You gotta have. We also need the right kind of guys that aren't just going to be the token guys, or just go along with the program. Guys who are going to stand and actually commit to making these changes. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Leave a like. I appreciate it if you do. If not, that's fine too. I ain't gonna sweat it. If you're new here, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. So when I go live or drop an upload, you'll catch it when it pops up. Hope everyone's having a great day. If not, pray it gets better for you. Been trying to get back into this. Need to stop worrying about it so much and reallocate some of my scheduling so I can get back to doing more of these videos and lives. Share the video if you think if it's something that should be getting out there. I think it is. Like I said, I'm only one guy. I only got my perspective. And yeah, that's all I got right now. So until next time, Scrub Zero, and I'll catch you on the flip side.